All right, good afternoon, mathematicians. In this video, I will be going through the Unit 5 test review in your workbooks. This is on pages 90 through 92. Just so happened to also be a homework assignment. All right, I'm going to try and get through this really quickly because you guys, it's already 4 o'clock and this is the day before your test. So let's get started. So find the total volume of the entire cylinder is asking in question 1. Remember, your volume is equal to pi r squared h, right? Notice how they give us a base area here. So this is 30. So what's nice is that we already have this pi r squared bit, right? So we really don't need to do anything except plug in 30 for our area. Right? They tell us that, and then we're multiplying it by the height. Well, the entire height looks like it's going to be 9 plus 6. So it looks like we're going to be multiplying 30 by 15. Let's do some quick math over here in the corner. 0, 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. And so it looks like the volume of the cylinder is 450 centimeters cubed. All right, find the volume of the water only, so that's this blue section, or I guess the shaded section in your guys' books. Okay, so our base area doesn't change. So that's nice. So we're still going to plug in 30 for the pi r squared bit, except now what's changing is we're just multiplying it by 6. So it looks like our volume is going to be 180 centimeters cubed. So that's the volume of the water, hence why it's in blue. Circle all the expressions that represent the entire volume of the cylinder. So we're looking for things like 30 times 15 or 30 times 6 plus 9. Oh, look, I have one of those. There we go. And then, let's see. If I were to distribute this 30, I would get something like this here, right? 30 times 6 plus 30 times 9. Hey, that works. This one wouldn't work, right, because that becomes 30 times 6, and then we're not multiplying all 3 together. So there we go. So there's 2 that represent the entire volume. All right, which of the following expressions are equivalent? Explain your reasoning. With a problem like this, I'm just going to say that showing your work is enough explanation. So let's do some work here. So question A, I can simplify this. 16y minus 8y is 8y plus 8, and we can't do anything further. So that's the furthest that we can simplify. B, I have negative 8y minus 4 times a quantity of negative 4y minus 2. So whenever you see a distributive property problem, distribute first, because multiplication comes before any addition, any subtraction. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to distribute this negative 4. So now I have negative 8y. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16y. And then negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. There we go. Combine like terms. Negative 8y plus 16y gives you 8y. And then we have plus 8. Hey, look, these are equivalent. 8y plus 8, yep, C, B, and A. There we go. D would simplify, I mean, if we just rearrange this, it would be 8y minus 8 rather than 8y plus 8. So this one does not work. Write an equivalent expression to the one you did not choose in question 4. So negative 8 plus 8y is what we're working with. I'm going to switch this around so it's a little easier. I like looking at this rather than this. I don't know. Negative 8 plus 8y just kind of confuses my brain. So writing an equivalent expression, I see that both of these terms have an 8 in them, so I'm going to take out an 8 using my distributive property. I'm going to factor out an 8. Now I'm left with y minus 1, and there we go. I have an equivalent expression. All right, continuing, we have some solving equations here, and this is multiple steps. We also have a fraction buster in here, but let's get to it. All right, so I always like to draw the line down my equal sign. I'm going to distribute this 5. So now I have 10x minus 20 is equal to 5x plus 5. Get your x's to one side. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. So I have 5x minus 20 is equal to 5. add 20 to both sides, right? We're isolating that variable. I'm going to move up here. So now I have 5x is equal to 25. Divide both sides by 5. X is equal to 5. And that's my solution. Next one. I have this pesky minus sign in front of my parentheses. So I need you guys to pretend, well, don't pretend, actually think this, that there is a -1 on the outside of that parentheses. Because now I'm going to distribute this -1 to both of those terms. So let's go ahead and do this. 12x plus 6, -1 times 8 is -8x. Sorry, -1 times 8x is -8x. -1 times -10 is +10. And we, of course, know this is equal to 0. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. I have this 12x minus 8x. That's going to be 4x. I have this +6 plus a 10, which is +16. There we go. And this is equal to 0. I'm going to work up here. 4x plus 16 is equal to 0. Again, we're isolating the variable here. So I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. And now I have 4x is equal to -16. Divide both sides by 4. So x is equal to -4. There we go. Let's keep going. Next one, question C. Again, get your x's to one side. So I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. So now I have 3x minus 5 is equal to 4. Add 5 to both sides. And then now I have 3x is equal to 9. Divide both sides by 3. Oops. And my solution, x is equal to 3. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to distribute this 4 to both terms. So now I have 4x minus 28 is equal to 4x plus 6. Get your x's to one side. So subtract 4x from both sides. Now you have -28 is equal to 6. This is not true. So, because -28 definitely does not equal 6. So now I'm going to say that there is no solution. And that's our answer for question D. All right, let's keep going. Here's my fraction buster. Remember, instead of dealing with the fractions, let's just get rid of them altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything in this in these brackets by 20. So I have 20 times 2/5 plus 20 times 3/10 x equals 2/20 times 20. This is what's happening, okay? So as I multiply, I'll be able to cancel. So 5 goes into 20 4 times, so I'm left with 8, right? 4 times 2 is 8. Then I can cancel these, the 10 and the 20. 10 goes into 22 times, so I have a 2. 2 times 3 is 6, but there's an x attached to it. And then lastly, 20 goes into 20 once, so now I have an equation I can solve. 8 plus 6x is equal to 2. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, getting that 6x by itself. Now I have 6x is equal to -6. Divide both sides by 6. X is equal to -1. All right, last one here. All right, again, this is a fraction buster, okay? Get rid of this pesky 6 in the denominator. We don't like it, so let's get rid of it. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. When I multiply -15x minus 3/6, when I multiply that by 6, what's awesome about this is that the 6's will just cancel out. So all I'm left with is -15x minus 3 is equal to 42. Right? That makes things a lot easier to solve. Okay? So let's go ahead and add 3 to both sides. So now I have -15x is equal to 45. When you divide both sides by -15, your final answer is x is equal to -3. And there we go. Hopefully you're doing okay so far. Okay, we are almost done. Final page. Here we have one of those profit questions, and this is using your substitution lesson. What lesson was this? I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, we're substituting equations. We're trying to make one equation from two equations, okay? So Ms. Howe, comma, the animal rescue mission manager says that to find the profit P from the concession stand she is running, you need to know how many visitors V, and the number of visitors will depend on the temperature T. So here's my two equations. P equals 3.5 V minus 150, and V equals 40 T minus 1000. Suppose 2,000 people visited the mission. Predict the temperature. So this one is simple. We can use our, we're not going to use our profit. We're looking for temperature. So when you're solving something like this, you need to say, which equation can I use to solve for temperature? P equals 3.5 V minus 150. I don't see a T in there, so we're not even going to look at this one. I'm going to use V equals 40 T minus 1000. Okay, so we know that 2,000 people, so visitors is equal to 2,000. So I'm just going to plug that into my equation. 40 T minus 1000. Okay, and we're going to predict the temperature by solving for T. So I'm going to get T by itself. Add 1,000 to both sides. I'm running out of room here, so now I have 3,000 is equal to 40 T. I'm going to divide both sides by 40. And let's see what that equals. Let me get my calculator really quick. So I have 3,000 divided by 40. So it looks like the temperature is at about 75 degrees. Cool. Now we need to write an equation for the profit based on the temperature. Right now, the equation for profit, so we say that our profit is depending on something. Hopefully you notice that the profit right now is depending on the number of visitors. But we want to write an equation where the profit is depending on temperature. So what we're going to do is, see this V here, this V in our profit equation. We know what V is equal to. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this equation for V and substitute it in for V in this other equation. So now I have something like this. P is equal to 3.5 times the quantity, right, times V. And we know V is equal to 40T minus 1000. And then, of course, we finish off our P equation. This minus 150 is still there. So you can either stop here, right? This would work, but see, question C actually kind of talks about what I was concerned about. Write an expression for profit that is equivalent to the equation you wrote in B. So I highly encourage you guys to simplify these equations, because when you simplify an equation, it's easy to use. So why not make it easier for yourself? Okay, so we're going to simplify this. So I have 3.5 times 40T minus 1000 minus 150. Okay, so I'm going to distribute this 3.5 to both of those terms. So 40 times 3.5 is equal to 140. So now I have P is equal to 140T minus, let's see, 1000 times 3.5, I believe is 3,500. Yeah, 3,500. And then we have minus 150. After we distribute, these parentheses go away. So that's nice because it allows us to combine like terms here. So we can combine minus 350 minus 150 for a grand total of negative 3,650. And then we just bring down our 140T. So it looks like we have a fancy simplified equation for finding the profit based on temperature. So now we can find the profit when the temperature is 80 degrees. So let's go ahead and rewrite our equation. 140 times T minus 3,650. My goodness. Okay, and I'm going to plug in 80 for T. So 140 times 80 minus 3,650. So the profit that we make, well, let's see, 140 times 80 is equal to 11,200, and we're going to subtract 3650, 3650, and it looks like our profit that day is $7,550. Not bad, Miss Howe. All right, hopefully this helped you guys. Happy studying, and I will see you in the next lesson.